Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to the videos and click the notification bell so you're notified when I put out new videos. Today is, what is it? Today's the 7th, November 7th. I went to do chemo today, so I'm hooked up. I got my pump hooked up right here, my little bag. Today was the 16th. Today's the 16th treatment. So I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with me, and the whole thing with cancer. You know what I mean, and how it affects you mentally. You know what I mean. It's like the roller coaster ride of emotions that the thing will take you on. You know what I mean. And for someone like me who has certain issues, you know, I can admit that I have issues as far as like mentally, you know what I mean? Inside anger issues, you know what I mean? I can admit that I have those, and it just takes something small to get my fucking mind going in that direction again. You know what I mean? But just being through this thing sends you through, through a fucking roller coaster of emotions. As far as me, I've never been angry about it. You know what I mean? I know there's other people that get angry about it. You know what I mean? They get angry about having cancer, and it's like the why me? Why do I have to go through this and all that? I don't feel that. I don't feel that kind of emotion. Those people feel like that because, like I said in my other video before, a couple months ago, that I've done so many fucked up things to people and hurt people and hurt innocent people, hurt people's families and shit like that. In my life, that I just felt like, hey, you deserve what you got because of what you've done. It's just karma coming back to bite you in your ass for what you've done. So just accept it for what it is and keep on going. You know what I mean? So I don't have that woe is me type attitude. You know what I mean? I just keep on rolling with the punches. You know what I mean? Whether I'm sick, I'm tired, can't eat, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You got pain for me, bring it. You know what I mean? I'll deal with it. You got sickness for me, bring it. I'll deal with it. You know, I don't feel that way like those people feel. I can understand that they feel that way, but it's just something that I don't feel because I feel that, like I said, I'm going through what I'm going through right now because I deserve it. So I don't feel angry about it. But, as far as, you know, uh, being like not being able to sleep, I'm back to that shit again. I can't sleep, stay up late at night. Eating is sometimes hard again. It's getting hard again. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get sick and start throwing up and shit from trying to eat, and I can't swallow the food. My thyroid's fucked up. I know that because they just told me the other day that they need to give me stronger medicine. They wait till the scan comes back. So next week I'll do my scan on Monday. Next Monday I do my scan at like 7 in the morning, and then I go back to the doctor on the 20th. So by the time I get back to the doctor, they should have the results from that scan, and they'll know what's going on, if the shit's spreading or if the tumor in my throat in my esophagus has started to grow again. And that's the reason why I've not been. That's what I'm thinking it is, because why wouldn't I be able to eat, or why would my food feel like it's getting stuck? It's like maybe it's because they took me off the other medication. Maybe that shit's starting to, grow again. So I don't know. I won't know until the 20th when I go back and see the doctor. It's kind of like the 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 day I'm gonna know everything. That's I'm gonna know if I'm gonna be able to go back to work. That's one thing that I want to do, is go back to work in December, at the end of December, and deal with the shit, when I'm not at work on my days off. Like I said in my other video, the schedule's gonna work good for me. The schedule that I was able to pick because I'll have days off where I can go do my chemo and then I can go back to work. You know what I mean? So, but it does take you through this fucking roller coaster again. Like in the beginning, I was thinking about my funeral for a month and a half. You know what I mean? How I was thinking about, this is gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. That's the first thing you think about. Okay, this is gonna kill me. When, who knows? But it's like I have to keep that in mind. Like it's come. This whole thing is coming to an end. I got to deal with it. You know what I mean? So, you think about that stuff, and then all of a sudden that goes away. And then I think about work. I think about, okay, I'm up at night and my mind wanders because I can't fucking go to sleep. And then I have these little dogs. My wife goes to work at 7:30 in the morning, so my dogs need to get up. You know what I mean? So it's like they're like having kids. You know what I mean? So I can't sleep all day. So I got to try to get up so I can take them outside so they can do their business, and then you know by that when I do that, then I'm already up. I'm not gonna go back to sleep. I'm up, but then there's times where my body will just crash on me. 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever. I'm sitting on the couch. Next thing you know, I'm out. 2 hours, I'll fall asleep on the couch just like that. Not realizing that I fell asleep. So you're going through all this shit. You know, and then like today, I go down to do my chemo today. And you go in this room and everybody in there's going through some kind of cancer. You know what I mean? And it's usually it's quiet in there. Today it was packed. Every chair was taken. But it's quiet in there. People are listening to their headphones or whatever. But everybody's going through their own shit. You can see the people that are really sick. You know, curled up in a ball with covered in blankets. You know what I mean? So you got to go in there and you got to you see that. You know what I mean? You see, people are getting sicker and sicker every time you see them. You know what I mean? And then you go in there one day and this one person's not there no more, and they don't ever talk about that person. You know what I mean? It's just that person's not there no more. It happened with this guy. He's not there no more. He was looking really, really sick the last time I saw him. He's not there no more. So, you don't know these people because we don't talk to each other. Until we talk, everybody talks to the nurses, but we really don't talk to each other. Even though we're sitting right next to each other, we mind our own business, And so, nobody asks. Nobody asks like, "Hey, where's the older dude?" Nobody says nothing. They probably don't want to know. They probably know, but they don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? But like I said, last time I saw him, every time I saw him, he just seemed to deteriorate more and more. He was an older man, So, anyways, you get to see people that don't come back. You get to see when people don't come back no more. You know what I mean? Then they didn't beat the shit. You know what I mean? And so then that will start to play in your head. You know what I mean? When you go in there, and again, it's for me, it's nothing scary. You know what I mean? It's just I have to think about it. You know what I mean? And so, like today though, okay, so then I do all my shit, everything's good, and I'm waiting right there for my paperwork. Well, I'm waiting right there to get my paperwork from the nurse so I can go schedule my appointments for next week, for next week. And this fucking black lady right there, I don't know, I never seen her before, but she was right there, and she was arguing with the people about her blood work. Well, they give her paperwork. Said, "Here, you gotta go down the hallway and get some blood work done." She's like, "I already did blood." At first, she was acting up. She was like, "I did blood work last week," and the girl's like, "Okay, but you have an order right here that you have to go get more blood work." So she's like, "I just explained it to you. I already did blood work last week. I came over here last Thursday or last Friday. I did my blood work down the hall. I already did it." She's like, "I understand." She's like, "No, you don't understand. I'm telling you again for the third time." Now she's getting louder and louder and louder. And then she starts cussing and shit. And the thing, it starts to piss me off, man. Because I'm standing right there and I'm starting to get fucking pissed off. First of all, it's like there's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? And it happened with the last time with the black dude that was getting loud in there and wanting to fight with the nurses and shit. It's like, why the fuck you guys gotta be so loud and shit? You know what I mean? There's a time and place, and being in here in this fucking room with all these people ain't the place. You know what I mean? Whether you're angry or you're going through some emotional shit, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You go outside, down the hall and talk to them. You know what I mean? But right here, you shouldn't be doing that shit. And another reason that I was getting more and more pissed off is because there was a lady that came in this today right after I had walked in there and sat down in my chair. She was her first time there, Asian lady, and she came in with a younger guy, and he's sitting right there. He's just sitting with her. She's sitting in the lounging chair. He has like a little fold-up chair right next to her because they'll allow your family members to come in there with you for like 10 minutes, but then they got to go. There's not enough room for everybody to have their family in there and shit. So, but he was sitting there holding her hand and shit. And when like right after I sat down, a dude he's always there, and I could tell he's getting really sick, that he's really weak, and he's looking like really tired all the time. You know what I mean? And uh, and he looks at the kid and he tells that dude, he's like, "Hey, you're a good son," and the guy says, "Oh, I'm her grandson," and he's like, "It don't matter. You're a good grandson, but you're still a son. You're a good grandson for being here in here with her. You know what I mean? Because it was her first time." It was her first time getting chemotherapy. So it was her first session. So now you got this fucking jackass bitch over here fucking talking shit, running her fucking mouth about how she did her blood work last week. And the girl fucking tells her, like, check it out. Because she's being cordial with her, you know what I mean? She's not yelling at the lady. She's trying not to. I could tell she wants to tell her to fuck off. And, but she tells her, look, I understand you just got your blood work, but they want you to do blood work for something different, not the same shit you got last week. It's something different, she shouldn't have to tell the lady right there in front of everybody else, but the lady should get it. You did blood work last week. They got your results back. They seen something else. They want you to get more blood work because they've seen something else. You got to go back and do more blood work if they're going to test this. But no, she wants to fucking argue about getting blood work. And she's then like, I already told you, I already did it. And she's like, okay, that's fine. Here's the paperwork. If you want to do it, that's okay. I'm just giving you the paperwork. And the lady's like, I'm fucking sick of your guys' shit. You guys give me a fucking runaround. This is bullshit and blah, blah, blah. She turns around, she looks at me like she wants me to agree. Like, she look at me like look at these fucking. I think to myself, I'm like, if you only knew what I would like to do to you, it ain't fucking agree with you. You know what I mean? Again, so this is where my fucking mind starts to go. You know what I mean? I start to think about my first thing is just, well, it's not the first thing, it's the only thing, is I want to hurt this fucking lady, man. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Why are you in here fucking causing a scene like this? You know what I mean? Like, you got sick people in here. You're fucking sick. You know what I mean? You should fucking know better. But no, you're in here causing a fucking scene, being loud, being obnoxious, hoping that somebody's fucking gonna agree with you. You know what I mean? And in my mind, I'm just like, man, I wish I could just grab her and I'll fucking slam her. You know what I mean? Like, put a hurting on her, just to, I don't know. To me, it's again, it's just my mind. You know what I mean? I know that I have an issue. You know what I mean? I know I have issues because that's the first thing that I think about is, I've said it before. People cut me off. Or they flip me off. I follow people before flipping me off. I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? I carry a fucking ice pick in my car. You fuck around, I'll stab your fucking tires in your car. You know what I mean? I'm just, the thing is the violence. It's the violence that is something that I don't know. I just can't let it go. I don't know how. You know what I mean? I don't know how. I've told my wife, like, hey, I need to talk to somebody. But then there's the other part of me that says, well, the fuck do they know? They never live your life. How the fuck they gonna tell you what's wrong with you when they've never lived your life? They never done the things that you've done. They read that shit in books. They seen it in fucking movies. I tell people that shit too. Like, motherfucker, I've done shit you only see in movies. You know what I mean? Shit that you watch on TV. I was doing that shit at 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? 15, 16. I was doing that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And it's because I had anger issues. You know what I mean? And I have. It's more than just that, though, man. There's something else. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I first got busted, in 1990, that night I was sitting there just thinking, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. Today is the day I'm gonna kill somebody for no reason whatsoever. I don't want to reason. I don't want. It's not a gang member. Just an average everyday person. I just thought in my mind, I want to see if I can do that. It's easy to go after your enemies and shit, but to go after, somebody that's a nobody, a regular citizen Joe, can you do it? You're able to go out and look these guys, your enemies, look for them, but can you do it to an average person? So that's what I set out to do that night, and I ended up getting busted for doing some stupid shit like that. And then you know, I remember being in SRCC. See, because when I was in juvenile hall, I was coded. They code when you're coded, they code you 187. You didn't have to commit a murder to be coded 187. Now this was at LP in Central. I don't know about Sylmar, Ventura, or anywhere else, but at LP in Central Juvenile Hall, if you were considered coded, they would not let you have a cellmate. You had to be by yourself, because you committed a crime that could have resulted in murder, that you were capable of committing murder because of the crime that you committed. So, they wouldn't put you up, cell up with nobody. You know what I mean? So I was by myself in juvenile hall, in Central and LP. I couldn't be with nobody else. They had locked me by myself. Me and whoever else was in there for murder or attempted murders or assault with a firearm, shit like that. We were all by ourselves. We get to come out with everybody, but we couldn't be locked up in the same room with another person. Well, when you go to SRCC, it wasn't like that. They allowed you to have cellmates. You know what I mean? And I remember being in there, and I would get those fucking feelings. You know what I mean? Like I would get those feelings of the same feeling I had that night when I got busted. You know what I mean? And kind of just to satisfy myself, I would fucking sometimes choke my cellmates until they passed out. And I would choke them when they would get up. They go take a piss or they're brushing their teeth. It would be at nighttime when everything's getting locked down, and nobody was going to come down the hall until later on to do a count. I knew I had time. You never knew in the morning time who's going to walk down that fucking hall. So when I would do shit like that, would be at night when we were getting locked down, and be in the cell, brushing our teeth. You know what I mean? Getting ready to relax, read a magazine or whatever. And I remember the first time I did it. You know what I mean? I started to get that feeling inside, be like, I want to fucking hurt this dude. You know what I mean? And he didn't do nothing to me. He was just, he was just somebody that was in my cell with me. And he got up, he was brushing his teeth, and when he was done, he was rinsing his mouth out, and I jumped off the top bunk, and I grabbed him from behind, and I lifted him off the ground. Like, I had him in a chokehold. I lifted him off the ground because I learned, a few years before that, how to do the chokeholds, the bare naked chokehold. I learned that from somebody that was doing jujitsu at the time, and I didn't even know what the fuck jujitsu was at the time. That was in the early, the 89. 89 is when somebody had shown me how to do that chokehold. The same person also showed me how to do a chokehold with somebody's collar on their shirt, especially if you have a button-up collared shirt. You know what I mean? If you can reach your hand like this and grab the collar and then turn the collar like this, so you upside down, and you turn it, it tightens up the collar like a noose. You just turn it like this, and then if you stiffen your arm out, most likely they're not going to be able to reach you. What they're swinging at you. And it only takes a couple seconds. It's just like getting somebody in a regular chokehold. So he taught me these things when I was younger. So I already knew how to do it. So I got him and I picked him off the ground and I choked him. Then he reached out, but his arms fell. And I laid him on the ground and I sat on his bunk and I was just sitting there watching him. And I'm watching him. He's like making gurgling sounds and shit like that, you know? And it kind of worried me. It kind of worried me when I started hearing him doing the gurgling sound, like, oh shit, this motherfucker's gonna die, you know what I mean? So I started to slap him. And he comes to and he's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Like, what are you doing? What the fuck? At first, he didn't know where he was at. He didn't know where he was at. And then he started coming to. You know what I mean? He's like telling me that he scoots on the floor, he gets up against the wall. He's like, what the fuck? What did you do that for? What are you doing? You know what I mean? And I saying it to him. You know what I mean? I saying it to him. And I just jumped on my bunk and just, he was gone the next day. He didn't stay in there. He asked to be moved out. And I had done that shit to a couple fucking people. You know what I mean? A couple people, I would sit there at night like, fuck, you know, and I started getting these fucking weird feelings and shit, you know what I mean? And here I go. And every single time, you know, they wouldn't rat me out and be like, hey, this motherfucker choked me out last night, you know what I mean? But they would like ask to be transferred out to another cell to be by themselves, or they would do something to get themselves in trouble, you know what I mean? So, you know, I had those fucking issues with, you know, in my own fucking mind, you know, and then later on, when I came home and I was in Fresno, same shit. It happened to me again where I was just sitting there in my house. And me and my grandma lived together, and she was at my aunt's house. She stayed over there most of the time. She would sleep on the couch at my aunt's house. We lived in the same complex, so she would just be across the way at my aunt's house, and I'd be in the apartment by myself. And I remember sitting in the apartment. It was in the dark, and I was going through that emotional roller coaster in my mind, like, fuck, man, you know, can't find a fucking job, fucking parole, still on parole, you know, I mean, going through all this, you know, I was doing that woe is me shit back then. I was blaming people for my fucking problems, you know what I mean? So I was sitting in the dark. I remember sitting in the dark on like a lazy boy chair. I'm just sitting there looking out the sliding glass door. And again, like, it goes through my mind, like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody, man. You know what I mean? And I go in the kitchen, I grab the biggest knife she had, and I went outside the door, and the door was kind of like pushed in away from the wall. So it was like a little hall type thing. It was probably like 4 feet before you hit the sidewalk, and it went down an aisleway, and there's all the doors for the apartments, and then you have the upstairs. So the person that's their door is in front of you is probably like 10 steps away. So you got like 3 feet of this. If your door's indented into the wall, then you got like 4 feet or 5 feet of concrete sidewalk, and then you got another 3 feet where their door's at. So I remember that hallway was some of the lights in there were off. So where I was at the very end over here, it was kind of dark. There was the lights over here were on, a couple of them, but over here at this end, it was always dark. So I was standing there by the door. I had my back against the door, and I'm just waiting. And I have this big ass fucking knife, you know? And I'm like, whoever comes through the fucking hallway, I'm gonna just wait until they pass by. I'm gonna hit them with it a couple times, and I'll step right back into my door. You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna kill him right here. You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna see? Nobody's gonna see nothing, you know? But it's the first person, no matter who it is. I'm gonna hit him with it. I'll step back into the door. And I waited there for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, just waiting in the dark. I was sitting in that dark hallway, just waiting, hoping somebody would come by, you know what I mean? Because I'm going through this emotional shit. And nobody came. So I said, fuck it. I went back in, put the knife away, and I sat back down on the couch and, you know, went about my business, you know? So the reason I'm saying all this shit is because this is the kind of thing that will fucking run through my head instantly, like it did today with this fucking lady. You know what I mean? I'm just like, man, just get the fuck out of here. You know, get the fuck out of here. If you don't want to go do your blood work, you don't do all that shit. Get the go home. Go lay down and fucking die. because you know you're causing a fucking lot a scene right here with all these fucking people, and you shouldn't be doing that. You know, you're being very fucking disrespectful. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing with me. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you being so fucking disrespectful? What the hell's your problem? You know what I mean? You got people in here sick. Got a lady, it's her first fucking time in here, and here you go, acting a fucking fool in here, talking shit, cussing, getting mad because you gotta go do blood work, but it's not everybody else's fucking problem. You know what I mean? So instantly my mind goes to fucking like, bam, I want to fucking kill this fucking lady, like that. Like I wouldn't, the thing with it is I wouldn't fucking have a problem doing it. You know what I mean? You know, I'll tell you something else. You know, when 9/11 happened, when 9/11 happened, I was in 2001. So I was like 20, let me see, 94, 20, I was like 27, maybe 27 years old. Um, yeah, I think I was 27. Yeah, I was 27 years old, I think. But anyways, doesn't matter. But I remember when it happened, you know, before that happened, I was always like the rest of these fucking clowns, you know what I mean? That you see on Instagram and fucking Facebook on Fools Gone Wild and shit that always talk that dumb shit about how this country don't give a fuck about us and, you know, this land belongs to us and all that stupid shit that people talk, you know what I mean? Like I was against the country, you know what I mean? Like fuck this place, you know? They don't give a fuck about me, you know, until that happened. And when that happened, is I say that's the day that I finally became an American. When I finally decided, like, hey, wait a minute, man. I can say or do whatever the fuck I want over here, but you ain't gonna come over here and fuck with us. You know what I mean? That's the way I felt. And so I became like, okay, like, this is our country, man. You know what I mean? Whether I agree with the politics and all that shit like that, it don't matter. This is our country. You don't come over here fucking doing that shit, you know, threatening our people. You know, and so I want to say it was like 3 days later or 2 days later, I knew that we were going to go to war. I knew it. So I went to the Marine recruiting office and I walk in there and they're like, hey, how you doing? How can I help you? And he says, I want to enlist, you know. And I said, I know we're about to go to war. I want to enlist. I want to volunteer. And they're, oh, okay, that's cool. That's good. That's good. I said, but there's one thing, man. I don't have a high school diploma. Is there any way we can get around that kind of shit? You know what I mean? I'm trying to fucking volunteer. And dude was like, no, we can't. And I was like, why? I'm volunteering. There's going to be guys that don't want to go. They're going to have to go, but they're not going to, I want to go. And they were like, we can't do it. That's just the rules. You know, you have to have a high school diploma. So I was like, fuck, all right. They ended up changing, I think, later on. They ended up letting people go. I didn't know that until maybe like a year ago. From what I understand, I might be wrong, but from what I understand, they were letting people go that didn't have a high school diploma or a GED during that time. But I guess I may have went way before that had happened. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to go for the country. You know what I mean? To fight for the country. But there was that other sneaky, manipulative side of me that was going because I felt I can go over there and kill people and get away with it. I don't have to worry about going to jail. None of that shit. I can do what I want over there. I wanted to fight for the country, but I also wanted to go for that reason too. It was like a 50-50 for country and for my own selfish reasons. You know what I mean? To get that shit out of my system. You know what I mean? And again, because it's people that you don't know. You know what I mean? With somebody I don't know. You're a stranger. And so I think that's what you know, when that shit happened like today, it comes out again. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, man, I would. That's all. I don't give a fuck. She's a woman. It didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? It just mattered. What mattered was she was being disrespectful and the shit she was doing that was angry at me. You know what I mean? It was getting me more and more pissed off as I was standing there. And finally, the lady, like, hey, come over here. She's like, hey, come over here. I'll deal with you over here, Mike. And I said, all right, I go over there. And the lady fucking cussing and cussing and storms out the fucking door. And then I finish doing what I'm doing, and I leave, and I look down the hallway. She's standing over there by where they're gonna do blood. She's standing over by the door. So I was like, all that arguing you fucking did, all that cussing and all that shit you did to this fucking girl right here in front of all these people didn't mean dick because you're still standing in this fucking line. You know what I mean? You went over there anyway. So I go out to the parking lot, get in my car, and I'm about to leave, and I see her walking out, and she's parked right next to me. And then there goes my mind again. You know what I mean? My mind starts fucking spinning, and I was like, nope, just go home. You know what I mean? Just go home. I had to go to the market and get my wife some shit, so uh, she needs some stuff to make salsa for her friends at work. So my mind's telling me like, oh, go ahead. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do. But then I was like, nah, my wife needs the fucking shit for making salsa. I got two little fucking dogs at home. They're waiting for me to get there so they can go to the bathroom. It's not the time or place for that kind of shit. You know what I mean? But again, these things, it's a fucking, I'm always going through a fucking emotional roller coaster. Maybe that's the reason why it doesn't bother me so much as far as the cancer goes. Because my whole life has been a fucking roller coaster ride. It's been a fucking emotional roller coaster ride my whole fucking life. You know what I mean? It's ups and downs, ups and downs. You know what I mean? And sometimes you're in the fucking dark. You know what I mean? It's just it's like that fucking. There's a ride they have at Magic Mountain. I got on that. I like roller coasters. I love them. But there's one at Magic Mountain I'll never get on again. I got on it at one time, and it's a fucking roller coaster that loops and shit. But then also the thing you're sitting in is spinning. And I got on that one time, and I was fucking terrified. I said I'd never get on that shit again because I can't see where I'm going. It's just I'm spinning in different directions. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I was like, no, I'll never do that shit again. I never did it. I only got on that one time. All the other ones I've been on them, multiple times. I go like some of them like 4 times in a day. But that one, I don't fuck with it. And that's what my life has been like. Sometimes they're in the dark. You don't know which way you're going. You know what I mean? But still fucking find my way out. You know what I mean? It's just a fucking roller coaster ride. You know what I mean? And being there, starts setting you up into a whole nother ride when you're in there and you're watching all these people and you're going through the shit you're going through. Then you have to deal with this motherfucker over here running their mouth, or the last time the other dude running his fucking mouth. You know what I mean? I'm over here not feeling too good, and we're all getting fucking poison cocktails put into us, and here you go running your fucking mouth in here, and being disrespectful, and then it sets me off. It sets off my mind. You know what I mean? It makes me want to do shit that I know that I shouldn't do. That's the fucking problem. I know what I feel is wrong. I know the things that I want to do are wrong, but I can't get rid of it. You know what I mean? And I think I said it in another video before that I wouldn't want to, I guess. I wouldn't know how to fucking survive. I wouldn't know how to be a regular person, you know, a citizen Joe. I wouldn't know how to be that. I don't want to be that. You know, I'm I'm comfortable with what I am. And so yeah, I wouldn't want to get rid of it, even though I know I should. You know what I mean? Um, but again, I wouldn't know how to live without thoughts that I have. But I can, things I know how to control myself. That's why I haven't done anything in a very long time. You know what I mean? Well, it's been about a year, year and a half, or whatever. I ain't fucking killed nobody. You know what I mean? But somebody sets me off, and my boys know, my partners, my friends know. You know, you put me in a back me up into the corner and I'm gonna come out. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I'm gonna try to avoid it if I can. You know what I mean? But you push too far, and I'm gonna take off on you. You know what I mean? This is the way it is. And if I have my knife, I'm pulling it out on you. I mean, it's happened before at bars and shit like that. My wife can tell you. You know, my friends can tell you. I pull out big ass knives on motherfuckers and chase them through a fucking bar, and motherfuckers running for their lives because they know if I catch you, I'm gonna poke you with it. You know what I mean? And it's just that's when that shit started to come out because you pushed too fucking far. You pushed me too fucking far, man. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of shit comes out. You know what I mean? But that's because somebody does something to me. Sometimes I just back then when I was doing these things before, it was just I was just doing it. Nobody did nothing to me. It was just my own mentality. You know what I mean? And but it's almost the same shit. Like I said, I go, you know, if I am in traffic, somebody fucking cuts me off or flips me off, or they're riding on my ass and I'm in my car, I'm looking in my mirror, this dude's, I'm just like, man, dude, like you better get off me because I'm gonna slam the brakes on, you hit me, I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna go to jail, and you're gonna go to the fucking hospital or somewhere else because I'm gonna take off on you as soon as I get out of this car. You know, you thought you got into an accident, not expecting somebody to come to your window and yank you out of it and start beating on you. You know what I mean? But my ment because I'm already watching the motherfucker in the mirror, so I'm already getting pissed off as it goes. You know, as the time goes on. You know, but you know, it just takes a little bit to set me off, and that lady was setting me off today. You know, but again, you know, I control myself, and I went to the market and got my wife her stuff, and I came home, and you know, it's another day of me not doing stupid shit to anybody. You know. But yeah, anyways, this whole fucking thing, you know, it's a roller coaster ride. But I've been on a fucking roller coaster ride my whole life, so I know how to deal with the cancer and all that shit like that. Who knows what's gonna happen when the results come back next week? If they're good, they're good. They're bad, they're bad. It really doesn't matter, you know. As long as I'm still here, I don't give a shit, you know. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. Fuck it, you know. It is what it is. But anyways, so that's the video. I know it's kind of I kind of will ramble off into something else, but you know, it starts at one thing, and that one thing will lead me to something else. You know, what I mean? It's not totally different, but it causes me to go there. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's my video. I still have another one that I haven't posted yet. Probably may I put it out tomorrow. This one I'll go out throw out there today. So if you see the one that I throw out tomorrow, it'll be it happened a couple days ago. It was just about the funeral. We went to my cousin's funeral last Thursday. You know what I mean? So I just gotta watch. I gotta watch it and then edit it and make sure there's nothing that I want to take out before I put it out there. You know. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. I think right now I'm at 850. The last time I checked was like 853. Okay, so I need 148. You know, 148 to hit 1,000. Like I said, once I hit 1,000, you ain't gonna hear me fucking saying shit about, you know, the subscribers and all that shit. You know what I mean? I'll just let it continue to organically grow on its own and shit. I'm not gonna be like, hey, subscribe and do all that bullshit. You know what I mean? I just want to hit that 1,000. So if you know anybody that's interested, that would be interested in listening to some of these stories, you know, let them know and just tell them to subscribe to it. And like I said, maybe you guys have learned something from the things that I'm going through. So with that being said, thank you guys again, and I'll be talking to you guys later.